I'm starring in this drama. Baby, you know I'm not getting over you. Baby, you know I'm not getting over you. Hey, I'm starring in this drama because of you. Even in disco lights, I still feel every lie. Wish I could hurt you too. Baby, you know I'm not getting.
Yeah.
Good morning and welcome to Shepparton, Victoria for the Division 2 Ultimate Championships. The game we've got for you this morning is Zephyr out of New South Wales playing Tams from Adelaide, South Australia. My name's Andy Moroney. I'm joined by Avril Tam. And Avril, some feel-good stories about both of these teams. Two fresh clubs looking to make an impression at this tournament.
For sure. Div 2 Nationals is a really good starting ground for some of these more developmental teams. They are, as you said, new to this tournament and very first season for both these clubs. We have, as you said, Tams. They go by Tams from South Australia. They have a couple of experienced players having played with some other Adelaide-based clubs before. They've got a trio of brothers. The Tonkin brothers will be looking out for them. They will be certainly leading this team. On the other side, we have Zephyrs, who are from Inner West Ultimate in New South Wales. Started in the mixed season last year, playing mixed nationals, and then this year really ramping up for the Opens division. They've been pretty serious at training, two training sessions and an optional third. So they're getting really excited to be here on the stream today.
Yeah, and as I said, a great vibe from both teams. Zephyr still up and about, a lot of energy. They went 1-2 yesterday. Their two losses, I believe, both Universe Point losses, as we have a look at their lineup. Bringing a pretty deep team, I think about 22 odd players, so you like to see it.
Sure, I think led by Neil Hanna and Vivek Srivastava. They will be two of their main leaders going forward. Very keen coaches as well.
And Tams running a bit of a shorter line, only about 14 players there. Not having a great day yesterday, went 0-3, but you wouldn't know it to watch their warm-up. They came out full of beans, really pumped to be on the stream. As we see that it will be Zephyr pulling to the right from the right of screen. Bit of an upwind, downwind. As we see the first pull go up, and this one might be okay. It's going to just stay in, and we're away. And they're down on the first pass. It looks like a junk being thrown right on the Tams, and it's one of the Tonkins.
Already the zone forcing one way to this close sideline.
So a lot of bodies in, and we got the first turn. Zephyr playing a cup, and they're going to get a chance to run and gun, and Tams probably not checked in. 3 uncontested throws. Patient now on the end zone line. Mark is set. There's one out the back, but he can't get it to him, so they're going to dump it off. Still a lot of players around the disc, pretty crammed. They're happy to just retreat a little bit, wait for the right cut to open up, and it does on the open side. And just like that, we have the first break of the game. Zephyr on the board.
Very well done by Zephyr. Fantastic way to get that first turn with a very tight cup there, forcing that shot over the top. They were forcing one way, which meant that the handler was trapped on that close sideline. Then once they generated the turn, very happy to run and gun and get their legs moving before Tams could set their defense. Right here, just using the force side, nice strike up line to the open space to finish the point.
Yeah, I like the patience from Zephyr. They kind of were happy to retreat on a couple of unmarked throws. They knew that Tim Tams were probably scrambling a little bit, so they could just take their time, wait for that right cut to open up on the open side, and that's the goal. So Zephyr opening their account, playing a really aggressive zone. That cup very, very tight. Let's see if Tim Tams can adjust. I'd probably call that, if you had to call that an upwind, downwind, I think that was more an upwinder. It does seem to be going a little bit from right to left, and it's kicking up, and that's why you see that pull coming in with heat, staying in.
Nice deep pull again. They set that zone with that front wall. This time a little looser. Oh, and that's the unfortunate bobble. Again, giving up an early opportunity. And might be a strip called there. Oh, no call at all. So another chance for Tams.
Yeah, a bit of a let-off for Tams. That one right on the end zone line. So they get a chance now. Let's see if they can get some rhythm in their offense. They've got a hammer option out wide if they want it. Instead goes with the scuba, and that one really nicely reeled in. Got the claw out and clunked it. That was not an easy grab. This time back to that far side.
It's a very aggressive zone. You can see in that second wall really pinching and trying to get those intercepts.
Yeah, and they're not. They probably want to space a little bit more. They don't have anything out wide, and that's why you see that backhand fake go, but it can't actually go to anyone. So you want to sit one out here wide and bait that hammer.
I think the wing's getting a little sucked in as well. They offense really need to try and spread the play, but they do manage to get it over the cup.
Yeah, good from Messick. He was the one there. Oh, and a little bit of a slip, and he couldn't come back for it. That was Brintai. So Zephyr, they're going to run and gun now. Look out the break side they are. They keep the break flow going. They're almost at their brick mark. Quite a few players around the disc, but they start to formulate a bit more of a disciplined stack. Moving it wide. This is Luau. Nice swing wide. And that one in and out. Wind will be a factor. You can see the flag in the background of your screen. Once again, Tams will have a chance through Tonkin. They swing it wide, so the flow a little bit better here. The handler's starting to get going a little bit. But Av, I wouldn't mind seeing a pop or two. And again, Messick, he's got the right idea. Just come out to this wide wing.
Yeah, I think the cup are just able to stay static and trying to track that one down. Gets to ground, but no win.
I like the throw. That's the shot that they want to take. Throw, almost kind of throwing Messick into where he wanted him to be.
Yeah.
Let's start the wing out at that point next time.
Yeah, that almost like throw initiated shot, right? Just lead your receiver out into space.
So Zephyr with a strange setup here. It's almost like they're running two dumps. They do. The first goes up the line, is covered, and Feng's now got a problem. He manages to dump back. That one getting a little bit of air, and that's a turn.
And that's what happens when you force this close sideline. It means that it's a very difficult around break shot. With the wind lifting it up as well, gives your defenders a shot to try and intercept.
Yeah, and the wind definitely, you can probably hear it through our mics now, definitely a factor.
So again, a very tight front wall here, allowing Tams to go side to side. Fantastic grab on the sideline, despite there's plenty of heat from the defender. And they elect to dump backwards once the cup is set. Again, trying to squeeze Tams to this close sideline. Just some popping now. Again, not much movement from the upfield poppers, which means the cup can stand pretty still and not really kept accountable. So I'd like to see a little bit more movement from the Tams to get the cup moving. Yeah, the whole offense needs to adjust. There are no poppers coming in. They're starting to do better with some movement wide, but the handlers are going to have to retreat space. They do. They're now at their brick mark. Handlers have adjusted. They know they need to get going. But nothing really coming in. Meskin did now. That crash is not very convincing. So this dump, they need to, this time they actually managed to swing it across. So that's Jesse Tonkin moving it up to Sam. Again, super static from everyone in offense. Not really working together to try and move the defense. Defense are very settled, and that one is just an unfortunate turf to the ground. Yeah, I mean, when you don't have any real movement, it's almost a matter of time, especially when the conditions are
not ideal.
And that's a hand block. That one, very well done. It was a low release, but somehow got his hands right down to the ground.
Let's see if Tams can get a bit of energy from that. Sometimes you do need to get just something happening on the defensive side for the offense to click. Inspire players a little bit to get into it, but it doesn't come off. Another one goes through the hands, and let's see if Zephyr can go on the run and gun. They tried to, and a nice big bid.
Way to go, horizontal. Fantastic block by Tonkin of the Sam variety.
Yes, if you think we say Tonkin a lot, you're right. Avril mentioned off the top, there are 3 of them out there, and they're all playing on the same line. So Tonkin's everywhere.
Finally, they make some ground with the cup trailing behind.
And now looks a little bit of a breakdown from Zephyr. They may have matched. I think half of them are playing match, half of them are still playing the zone. So if Tams can be composed through this, they will find the gap. They need to do what Zephyr did in the first point. We see this one coming out wide. It's Bradley Vince. Count gets high, but waits it out. And Nadezwa catching from Vince. Nice patience. They knew that there was a little bit of confusion in the Zephyr defense. They just needed to, as I say, wait it out. And after multiple turns and then some individual brilliance on the defensive side, whether it be hand blocks or layouts or pressure around the disc, as we saw that turn on the dump. This was the hand block, I believe. Oh, yep.
Ooh. Way to get low. Really nice center of gravity there for the thrower. And here we have it finally collapsing into match, which means that the downfield receivers can attack the open side a little easier, less clogging in the space. And well done to trap that one. The wind kind of, obviously starting but gusting as well a little bit, so the unpredictability also making it tricky for the players.
So Tim Tams, as I said, if you think we're saying Tonkin a lot, you're right. Caleb, Sam and Jesse. I believe they're all playing on the same line. Have I heard the coaching huddle? They said, there's the Tonkin line and then the other line. So,
I mean, when you've got 14 players, you only have 2 lines, right? So it's 50-50. And that one's a nice pull, sending out the back. I'm not sure if it went out the back. They're not too hurried, so I'm going to assume that, yes, it did. They
Rolling
get to,
out.
bring it to the front of the end zone. So Tams also coming out with a zone of their own. Looks like it's going to be a tight 4-person cup up the front.
Yeah, so this one even more aggressive than Zephyr's in the sense that they've got 4 players around the disc. So they're really daring Zephyr to throw it over the top. And they've got them hemmed in right where they want them. This is the corner of death if you're the offense. So you need to be able to dump it around. That one ran out of bounds, but got his pivot inbounds just before catching the disc. And they're working the small ball. They throw the disc through, and that's the throw. That's the one that if you're the fence for Tams, you need to close that down because that just releases all the pressure for Zephyr.
So try and get it on the high side. This will make it a little easier, but not even looking that way.
And now it's probably Zephyr's turn to run a few poppers. The handlers are doing a fair bit, which is good.
I like the movement, though. That movement created the gap between the throw, which allowed that shot through that first cup.
Avril, the poppers are the most important players in the game. I've always said it. They're not going to get one through here. I think the Tams fence is adjusted now. They saw 2 throws go through. So now another throw outside the break. And they've got it up to halfway, so this is good flow.
I also like how they're trying to use the far side, trying to make some more space. They really got to try and push to get that way so they can further advance.
Yeah, you're spot on. That's the one adjustment I'd make if I was Zephyr. In a habit, go high. So right now you want the first look to be the other way. You want it to be away from the camera.
As they do here, you can hear the loud calls from drop, drop, drop. Oh, that's a low throw. Manages to keep it off the turf.
It's the old air bounce. And you hear that they're going to adjust now. I think you can hear match being shouted from the sideline, but not all the players have adjusted. So if Zephyr can be patient, they should be able to find the loose player out the back. Tams can't get that defensive adjustment and allow Zephyr their second goal of the game.
Srivastava really showing his skill despite some tricky, gusty winds. That took 34 passes in total to secure that. And that was a clean hold to boot. So Zephyr showing that their extra skill sessions, weekly skill sessions on top of the 2 training sessions are certainly paying dividends. So we see this lovely shot. Just pivots in front of the defender, making sure that he can get a nice clear shot. As you can see, all the throws being kept nice and low to make sure they don't get caught up by the wind. And as we said, the difference with the 2 offences is that the movement and the popping, that constant cycling of the players in that front space, much better by Zephyr to open up those holes and advance the disc, compared to Tams, probably a little static on their offence, meaning that the defence were getting a bit too comfortable.
Yeah, it was those 3 throws through the cup. 2 of them kind of right through the fence. The other one, more of a break around the mark, but really impressive. So if you're Tams, if you shut that down, very different story, because there was still a lot of positives to take out of that. They hemmed him in this back corner. And if you're Zephyr, maybe just sending 1 or 2 pops through more, as we saw some interesting shorts. Were they shorts or pants? 3/4 number? Something in between?
Balloon pants?
Balloon pants. Gee whiz. Okay, as this one, it looks like it will be going all the way out the back. And that'll be a brick. First brick of the game.
It's actually pretty hard to control the disc going downfield. It floats a lot further than you think. I mean, most of the offense points we have seen scored upwind so far, so that's often the trickier end to score, interestingly, but showing the skills.
So on the setup, if you're Jesse Tonkin, bottom of screen, this is the close side that you probably want to see an overhead go to. But in order to get that space, they need to send their wing deeps longer. Right now, Feng sitting out the back, covering 2, making the field small. So let's see Tams what they can do. Sam Tonkin getting the disc moving, receiving it back now.
So that same 3 in the cup, trying to force that early turn.
Going up, nice layout grab to make sure of it, 2 hands. Sam Tonkin to Caleb.
Oh, that was a close defensive bid, but fantastic work to keep it off ground.
And Sam Tonkin pointing now. He knows that wants to send an overhead, if for nothing else, and to just get a little bit of separation with the cup. Send them backwards a little bit. Because right now they're retreating ground. They're back past their brick mark, so they've gone backwards from when they first brought it in. And with a lack of poppers, 1 popper comes in now. A lack of poppers, it's really able to set that fence.
You can see the offense all really favouring that far side wing. They need some people to try to preserve the width, try to drag the defence and open some holes.
Ironically enough, they're doing the opposite of what Zephyr did. Zephyr worked it down this sideline, as we see the... Oh, nice grab!
Out.
Keeping it alive. Looking good while he did it too, which is just as important. Now there's a little bit more lateral flow. They just want to sit 1 wing deep here. You can see them looking diagonally across, but they're not. They're opting to play it super, super safe.
I think a couple of times when they've managed to get the little dump back, they've gotten this one, but there is no wing continuation.
Yeah.
As you can see, this one is shut down by the defense. So if they can get that next shot across, try and get it to this side of the field, the high side, they will be able to make plenty more metres.
See, they got Rocker completely unmarked down the bottom of your screen here. He was the one that took the nice layout grab to keep the disc alive.
He's getting sucked into the play again, but if he's going to go in, someone needs to come out. Someone needs to be in this space.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost like they're just a player short around the disc. There's another scuba goes, and this time their luck runs out. They had 2 or 3 of those where their teammates laid out to keep the disc alive. But Zephyr now a real chance to put in a break. Low release flick out the break side. And that is another break. It is 2-1. 3-1, I beg your pardon.
Very well done by Zephyr. Persistent with the defense. In the end, a very efficient conversion as well. Didn't give possession back at all. So Zephyr looking the goods early in this game.
Yeah, it was probably the run and gun there. As soon as they got the turn, they were straight into playing their offense, not letting Tams. Geez, that's a mouthful. Tams. Guys, think of us when you're naming your teams, please. Show us some mercy. Not letting them set, which is why now they enjoy a 3-1 lead.
And Shrivastava on again. I'm sure we'll see plenty of the disc movement through him. Very nice balance on his throws. As we see here, throw and go. That's 1 pass, 2, and 3 to score. So Zephyr showing that they can get the scores, whether they need to throw 48 passes or 3 passes. Certainly in control of this game.
So Zephyr up and about. Avril, as you mentioned, one of their first tournaments as an open team, if not their first tournament. So full of beans, a lot of excitement. And Tams the same as they bring it in and at their brick mark now. One goes through the cup, which is good. That's more positive intent, and they're keeping it in the middle. Vince moving it back to Taylor. Taylor with the flick. Out to Ty. Ty lets one go. It's over the back. It's going to sit. He's going to have a bid. Oh, and he's trying to toe it in. And in doing so, just flubbing the clap catch. It was Nadezwa.
Definitely had some wheels on that run down, but
He looked good, didn't he?
yeah, tricky because I think he knew that the line was coming as well. So trying to both catch and keep your toes in, always hard when your brain split 2 ways.
So this is interesting here. It looks like Tams going with a match. Maybe even a bracket defense. You can see Taylor really low under.
Yeah, and you see the deep person just capping off the back. So probably some switching, I would say.
Nice low backhand, but still hemmed in on this sideline. They're almost playing it in just a really narrow corridor, like a bowling alley. They get the backhand off, but there's no real contrasting styles. They're playing exclusively down this sideline. They let one go to deep. He's got a nice sit. He's done well. That's Shu. Varshni, he lets go of backhand, but this one, little miscommunication between him and Alex Feng. And Tim Tams now with the second chance, but they're going to have to work it up against Zephyr's junk. So in, and he lets a hammer go, and this one's going to sit. Oh, a little bit of body.
Surely that's going to be a foul call.
I think
But no call. I guess
No
it didn't
call,
really
yeah.
affect the play. It was never going to get to the disc.
would have been an accepted foul, you'd
Yeah,
imagine.
yeah.
So now Tom's not set, so Zephyr with a free player back.
Shrivastava completely unmarked. That is dangerous goods.
Lacra again with the air bounce. Likes the air bounce. The first one he threw almost hitting the ground. So it's Lacra again. He's really running this the offense. Did so the previous point as well. A lovely break flick to Feng. Feng back to Lacra. Looks for the low flick, but this time shot off really well. Nice marking by Hutchison. Lacra getting every second point, second throw. This time with the high release break backhand. A little bobble, but it's safe enough. This is to Shu. Shu back to you-know-who. Lacra lets a laser go. And that's Feng, I believe, with the goal. But all roads led through and to Ankit Lacra. A great point. Giving Zephyr a 4-1 lead. It's not his first goal of the game either. That's his second assist. So he's been everywhere. We see the hammer go up. I quite liked it. I like the intent. But
Yep.
Feng kind of just getting to the right spot.
Yeah.
Not deliberate contact, incidental, but one that, I think would have been an accepted foul had Tams kept it.
So just a little slow to get in on defense. And when you've got the thrower with such skills as Lacra, we saw a really nice around break to get the disc on the higher side, and then much easier with plenty of paddock to work with.
Yeah, and as much as from a defensive perspective, you've got your strategies, you've got your structures, you also need to be able to adapt. And if I was Tim Tams, I'd start putting some time into Lacra. You need to adjust your defense to go, okay, this guy's shredding us. Get a proper, when I say proper, get a designated matchup onto him, or try and force him downfield. Even a double, like a running switches, you've got to mix things up. So
I did see a bracket play when they played that match, but I think once it gets into flow, that back cap just didn't quite manage to track the deepest person, and in the end got caught out. We had a nice long shot to open it up. So just a little bit more communication. It is a pretty quiet sideline, admittedly. I know Tams don't have a big roster.
This one stayed in, Avril.
Oh, they get things going, and again, that trusty zone. This one's a high one, a little bit of a sniff, but they hem Tams in on this sideline. That dump back. Are they going to get the confirmation? They do this time. The wings now working hard for that next option.
Yeah, and that's what you wanted to see a little bit more of, Avril, is having those players there ready for the swing. It just helps release a little bit of pressure, gives a little more surety to the handlers. It
also makes the cup have to work hard, right? You know, meters, shuttles, and there they generate the block. Heart sink for Tams.
Yeah, it's Caleb Tonkin. Spent it before he had it, and he's filthy on himself.
But promising in terms of the zone offense. I feel like they made progress in that point.
Yeah, I agree.
So a set play here, end zone play, an early cut. It's looked off. You can see very low on the pivot, and that is a simple one-pass score for the goal. And Zephyr, that is their third break straight.
Rubino catching off Rivera. So looking at Rivera's really wide, low pivot, but if you're Tams, you need to adjust your mark there. Like he's faked that backhand 3 times. You've got to protect the break right on the end zone line, knowing that any throw forward, certainly from the break side, is going to be most likely a goal. A little bit of adjustment to make. So we're going to see a timeout on the field. It's 6-1. So we're going to see one timeout before half. Half we'll take at 7. We are going to go and jump in, listen to the huddle, see what the messaging is, and be back shortly. And welcome back out of the timeout. Tim Tams calling that one. They'd seen enough, 4 breaks in a row, enough of a slide for them to burn a timeout and talk it over. And Avril, I was listening to their huddle, pretty optimistic. Their message from the leadership from Taylor was keep the processes. And I actually think that's, I know it's a cliche, but it's actually fair enough because their turns have kind of just been from unforced errors. So they kind of said, look, just keep it up. There was a lot of questions being asked, like in a good way. So the energy pretty good, pretty strong from Tams.
And the 2 defenders so close. Surely that's a double team.
It is, but you got to call it. So double team a marking infraction. It doesn't really stop play, but we're going to see
some kind of stoppage as the players discuss. No hand signals as yet, so unsure what the call was. Looks like it is a foul with Aidan Turner, one of the game advisors, helping us with the calls.
That's an accepted foul. Still will come in on one, and there was just a massive double team. But we're in now. Taylor in with it, moves it up.
I like the movement from Tams. They're using their legs to try and break through this cup, and now they've managed to swing wide to the high side.
That was the shot. Tonkin sees one, lets it go. It's going to be a 2-on-1 deep. They're going to have to battle the sideline, and the sideline wins.
I like that, aggressive
100%.
By the Tams. Yep. I mean, that halftime huddle, clearly asking the right questions of each other to try and force this beautiful flow.
And again, it actually kind of mirrors their messaging out at the time. That was the right throw. Execution didn't go right, but
that's the space they want to attack. That's the way they want to move the disc.
So Tim Tams now running with a match. Zephyr, no, geez, they throw wide and low, don't they? Big step outs. You can see those throwing drills coming in handy. And we see one go long, and this one, he's got the sit underneath. It does the spin of death. Goes for the bid, but can't get it.
Got a little unlucky. He thought the disc was going to stay a bit straighter, but the wind ended up pushing it closer and over his head. Always difficult to track those.
And again, Tim Tams showing more intent and aggression. This one shut off and almost tripping over. No, all good. Helps each other up. And they are going to run and gun. Lacra, my man. Rubino sees the...
Ooh, almost got into each other's way, but comes up with the disc.
Lacra catching discs that aren't even meant for him now. That's how involved in the play that he is. Hannah manages to move it around. Rubino, he sees one out wide, throws. It's an outside in. It will be inbounds just. Rivera looks for the little dish. He gets it, and that's Neil Hannah catching the goal off Rivera. Lovely wide gainer that opened that one up. Zephyr really starting to use all thirds of the field when previously they were working it down as a set of bowling alley. This one going out wide, sat up nicely into the wind, so the disc just slowed down, curled in, and then a nice, simple inside up the line cut.
Straight to his belly.
And that brings us to half, I believe, 7-1. And we see both teams coming in for the halftime huddle. We are going to take a short break. We'll listen in once again to see what the messages out of the teams at half is. Maybe even grab someone from one of the teams. We will see you on the other side of this break. All right, and welcome back out of a timeout. So, quick clarification, that was not half, that was a timeout. And the score is 6-1. Apparently.
Well, I mean, teams are happy, game advisor's happy, so must be correct.
All right, so Zephyr with the downwind pull. It's going to be an outside in. It's got a bit of blade about it, so the smarter amongst us would just let that hit the ground, as Rocker did. How do you feel about catching bladey pulls, Av?
Yeah, I'm not sitting behind that disc.
Nope.
I mean, especially with this wind as well, you can see it roll back almost into the other field. So Rocker taking his time here. Perhaps waiting for the wind to die down before he gets things going because it's gusted up.
Veteran play too, yeah. I like doing that. Yeah, no, some people say not catching the pull is cowardly, and I say that's fine. I'm a coward. So, Tams, again, needing to work it through a very aggressive Zephyr zone set. No poppers coming. You can hear the shout of options from the sideline. And one goes up, this one into the wind, so it's going to sit up. And reeled in from behind, from nowhere. He came from behind his opponent. Tams needed a bit of luck and they got it. Tonkin goes with the wide flick. That's to Rocker. Rocker lets one go. This is out to the wing side and Tams looking more intentful and positive. Smith, he has one. It goes out wide, but it turns over the upwind. And Smith dirty on himself. Knew that was a live shot.
Still a fantastic look. We like that flow and movement. Really, no hesitation. Stay aggressive. Got to stay positive and keep pushing Zephyr.
One goes long, sees it, likes it. My man. Oh, he had it.
Just
Lacra.
Commentators curse there for Lacra. Maybe too much props here.
Oh, I'll keep backing him in. He's going to get it done. But now it's Tams' turn. They went for the run and gun, but there weren't enough players back and set, so the count gets high. Taylor bails him out. And a little bit better in terms of the flow. Watson. This one, a little bit of air on it. Oh, just caught the air, and it's going to be a live turnover catch from Rivera. Goes to Lacra. Chabasta. Lacra is pinned in on the end zone line. Looks for the break. Instead throws a nice, easy bowling lane goal.
Defender thought that the cutter had made his cut and was clearing and then kind of let loose, and that's when the cutter was striking up line in that open space, as we see here. That just little give go. Looks him off first. The defender goes, oh yeah, not activated, and then just does a little jink back. It's always tough for those ones. But I think still some good signs from the Team Tams. They managed to have some nice flow in their offense. In the end, just some slight execution errors, giving that disc up to Zephyr. And Zephyr, having had several perfect conversions. In fact, their D-line has managed 4 perfect conversions, meaning that when the D-line gets the disc in hand, they are scoring immediately. So very impressive.
Yeah, and my MVP, Lacra, a massive factor in that. Getting every second pass, really keeping the flow going, making it really hard for Team Tams to get set, because the throw and goes are happening on really low, kind of 2-3 counts. That one, the first goal of the game, which was a break.
And Riviera as well. Also, as we see this wide pivot, particularly to that backhand side, very difficult for the marks to stop. I think as a mark, perhaps maybe standing off and backwards a little bit just to get a little bit more width. That might help, you know, put some pressure on those beautiful throws.
So the wind will be a factor. You can hear it blowing up through our mics, most likely, so helps level the playing field a little bit. Will make the upwind breaks a little bit harder for Team Tams, but it does introduce that that chaotic element, Avril.
For sure. We've seen several kind of unfortunate turns. I think the execution's good, and then the wind just lifts things up. When you can get some bodies under it, sometimes you just don't know what's going to happen, but good heads-up awareness as well. Sometimes those bubbles, you can get a second bid attempt. We hear some loud cheers, still staying positive from the Team Tams. As we see some highlights from the half. We have Zephyr up 7-1. We will see you back on the other side.
Everybody dance, don't stop. I just need a minute to find out what I'm feeling, cause I'm about to go nuts. And my team is trying to say what's up. I've been waiting for this my whole life. Wanna do it again 3-4 times. Cause it's better than a dream. I'm with you, I will never get enough. So high, what a surprise. You're all I ever had in mind. I'm happy in the sky. I think it's all desire. I will never say tell everybody still pull up. There's a party we can go all night. I will show you how to run the world.
Hello and welcome back for the second half of Tom's Tim Tams versus Zephyr. Zephyr with it all on their terms early on. Tom's Tim Tams, despite calling a couple of timeouts, not really able to get anything going, but Avril, it wasn't necessarily through lack of their setup or strategy. It was pretty execution focused. So I know they're going to be flat, but you kind of just got to keep doing the same thing. It's not a bad strategy.
Yeah, I think towards the end of the half they were definitely using space better. They were moving the disc against that Zephyr zone side to side and trying to strike for some of those long options. So I think it's good to keep the Zephyr defense accountable, trying to stretch the field, stretch the players, make the defense have to swivel their heads a bit more.
And so now Tom's Tim Tams doing what Zephyr did to them in the first point of the game, playing a super aggressive zone. Hannah's able to get it in the access position, goes to my man Lacra. They've got it about their brick mark now, but Tom's Tim Tams playing a super tight cup, saying if you want to do that to us, have some of this. Nothing too close resembling a double team just yet, but it has certainly been pretty active in there. Rubino moves it up. They're attacking brick mark now to Hannah. Hannah, nice open backhand, but it's a turn. So Tom's Tim Tams getting the first turn of the second half.
I think this might only be their second break opportunity, so they've done well. The Zephyr offense have been very stingy with the disc. This is a great way to try and get their half started.
It's a great term, Avril. Stingy. Miserly with the disc. Tom's Tim Tams winds up a big backhand. Elects not to throw. That was Ty. Tonkin, Sam Tonkin now. Give and go. A little bit more positive, but no poppers coming in, so it's really hard to generate flow as the handler as he's trying to get that dump off. Can't get it. Dump goes up the line. Count will be getting nice and high now. Gets it back to Ty. Ty back to Tonkin. So a little bit of small ball because there's nothing doing downfield. They're having to do it themselves. He lets one go. This is a big backhand, and it's coming to us. Av, grab it. Here we go. Oh, no. Oh, hey, Mikey.
Hey. Camera operator Mikey Palmer with the goods, showing he's still got the skills, not just behind, but in front of the camera too.
Oh, geez, a lot happened in there. That was good. Get us in the game. So, Lacra in and out a couple of times. He's had them jump in and out, but he's been everywhere. As we see one go long. This is a nice deep shot. This one will work. No, great D. Lou has the deep. Now with Hannah. It's a frantic pace, this first point out of half, both teams. Hannah, Lacra the look away. Bringing the bag of tricks now. Jang to Lacra hemmed right in.
I think Toms will be pretty happy for them hemmed in on the sideline, but again, that wide low pivot gets them out of jail to that wide side.
Nice throw through the cup. That's what Zephyr's becoming renowned for now. 4 or 5 times they've been able to exploit a little gap in the fence. And now that swing alleviating all the pressure. Hannah gets it back. A lot going on in and around the cup. Lacra Gets the easy advance, gets the give go. Srivastava, and that's the goal. Nice patience and movement, really low stall counts, throwing early on in the count, making it incredibly hard for the defense to set. As you see Lacra, the give go. A lot of players collapsed in and around the disc, so that wasn't too bad. But just a little miscommunication between the cup and the wing behind.
You heard Tim Tams call for a collapse to match, but I think the call came a little bit too late, and then they had such a short field, it was always going to be really difficult to stop. Yeah,
if you're going to go with that, it is a bold call, and you do have to do it early because you only need one player not to be on the same page and you're cooked. Srivastava all over that point as well. So despite some early positive signs with Tim Tams getting the break, they are still facing down the barrel of an 8-1 deficit.
A pretty impressive pull and a slight upwind.
Agreed.
Decent roll to boot.
And we're going to be taking it from right on our commentary position. Caleb Tonkin looks the flick, has to retreat. Goes to Taylor. Taylor moves it up. Rocker getting it back. Looks like Anthony Rocker, spelled differently.
So this is the key. They need to continue on the wide side, and there they go, a big shot. Gobbled up by the Zephyr defense.
That one perhaps a tiny bit overzealous. No real opportunity for any Tim Tams offender receiver. And Zephyr can now move it. It looks like Tim Tams will have to collapse into a match. They've done it reasonably well. Feng with it, goes with the up the line. And they've got a lot of players around the disc, and as a result, an accepted foul. Rivera with the disc. And in the red zone, patient, waited for it just as they did in the first point of the first half. And Zephyr now have a 9-1 victory, 9-1 lead. Neil Hanna almost gave you the victory early. You guys playing really well, having a great tournament, having a great game so far. What was the message in half?
I can't recall it right now. There's too many things going on. The vibes have been good with the team. This is our team's first season having an opens team, so we're just feeling everything as it comes. Yesterday was our first day. Had 3 very tough matches. Did well considering everything. Couple of universe points. So yeah, it was really nice.
Nice. And it seems like you are like a really level, even team. It feels like we're calling all your players' names. I've also got to ask, one in particular, my man, 94, Ankit Lacra. He really seems to be a linchpin when you do get the turn. He seems to be catching and throwing every second pass.
Yeah, Alex Lacra, he's got the nickname Clara there with the jersey. He's, what can I say, he's one of our top players. He's coming, he's just a guy that's got a lot of experience and a lot of fun to be around.
Yeah, I think we might have seen him on some streams before. Was he potentially at Gold Coast earlier this year?
At Gold Coast at the World Championship, so very fortunate to have him with the team. He shares a lot of experience with us.
Thanks, Neil. All the best for the rest of the game.
Thanks,
Neil.
Thanks, guys.
What a lovely guy. Neil Hanna, everybody. Oh, Tams. It's gone from bad to worse. A little miscommunication. Zephyr with an opportunity to go into double digits now. They're going to move it quickly. The throw goes out wide, but reeled in nicely. Nice run through D from Brintai. Reading the play really well.
Well done to try and get some spark of energy for the Tams. They have been working really hard, some very long points, lots of passes, so hopefully this can really rev the boys up.
Yeah, it would be really easy. At 9-1 down, you've just turned it to probably drop your head and jog. Great intent, great energy still from the Tams Tim Tams team. Tams Tim Tam team. Try saying that 3 times. All right, Tonkin. This is to Rocker. Rocker go with the give go. Getting a bit stagnant. You think now, Avril, that short roster, 14 on the team, you can start seeing some heavy legs.
Yeah, I'd like to see when they have those poppers come through, if they're getting faked off, they need to do the dump and then the swing behind. So they're really trying to get through this zone via throwing through and using their legs, but still stuck on this sideline. So maybe trying to go either around the cup or over the cup might pay some dividends.
Yeah, I did like their over-the-cup shots in the first half. The second half ones haven't really looked high percentage, but this is not bad. Sam Tonkin is kind of the linchpin of this offense right now. Has the give go, instead goes to Rocker, and Rocker goes for the greatest.
Fantastic attempt there, Rocker. Doing his best to trap the disc and get some decent grip on it. In the end, having to settle for the Zephyrs here on another offensive bid. Completely unmarked. You're going to have to sort this defense out.
Nice, patient, under. Out wide, Luau, out wide, and
Rare miscommunication by the Zephyr players.
Yeah, they've been pretty good to date on the around the disc and with the dumps, but now, Sammy, Tonkin fakes the flick, throws the flick, outside blade. It's going to be a goal.
And that is Zhang with a fantastic goal after getting a fantastic D. Look at the
And
celebrations!
it's a group drawing. Look at him get in around him. Got a super soaker. 12 blokes sitting on his head. I don't know what he did to deserve that. Maybe they scored the goal, their second of the game. And Av, that's what you like to see. I mean, we set it off the top. A new team, a lot of energy, a lot of excitement to be here. Yes, they're copping a bit of a 10-2 belting, but to see that energy, you love to see it.
For sure. I think, as we said, Zhang getting that intercept block emphatically down the other end. I know there were a couple of turns in between, but getting big on this point, inspiring his teammates to get up and going.
It's a great point, and I hope they remember that, because they don't get that celebration and that goal unless you had that hard work earlier in the point. So credit to all of the Tams Tim Tams.
And sorry, that was Bryn Ty with the score. I suspect one of the rookie players on the Tom Tim Tams.
And props also to Sammy Tonkin that point. Was getting every second pass, really trying to generate, kind of recognise that the team may be getting a bit fatigued and went, right, jump on my back, lads, stick with me, we'll be fine.
Yeah, when they were working things quickly, oh, that's a lovely shot through the cup.
Lacra. Nice grab to keep the disc alive. That's Travasta. Nice low throws. Lacra goes with a bit of the air bounce. It's a problem when you do that upwind. And Tams Tams, this sideline has come alive. They're up and about. They're starting to get some Ds. Don't worry about having 14 on your roster. There's still a lot of energy. I think it all changed when that Super Soaker came out. Hutchison has it. He's looking deep. Will he throw it? He wants it. He throws it. Unfortunately, no offenders there. And they're going to work it up. Kind of telegraphed that one a little bit. Allowed Zephyr's D to kind of sit deep. Hannah, lovely chap, had a chat to him earlier. And Tams Tams defense manages to set now, but Hannah, if he can move it up, no, allows. Going to be real patient. Zephyr still running quite a few back around the disc. And in spite of that, they're still able to find the gaps through. Anchored to Hannah.
Like the energy from the sideline here. Certainly a lot more vocal.
That's a first. Even Ruben liked that one. Game advised from the sideline. It was a look-away flick, and it took everyone by surprise, including the poor fellow that was running through the cup. Tonkin, he lets one go out wide. It's going to sit up. He's going to run onto it. Oh, no!
Oh, that was a fantastic look by the Tom Tim Tams.
Yeah, Lacra getting around Tonkin then saying nice throw, and it was, especially out of the hand.
Just that little gust of wind pushed the disc further than expected. And a tight cup now, trying to generate another opportunity. You can hear the defensive pressure, both from the sideline. You can see them bouncing up and down on their toes. Tams.
This is as much energy as they've had all game. I'm loving it.
Yeah, absolutely.
This one through, there's still, if there's one thing, I love the energy and the response, but they've got to stop these throws through the fence. That one again, they get lucky because it had a bit of heat on it. And they'll have another chance. This is Jesse Tonkin. Dump goes up the line, not coming. Nice fill from the back, unmarked. There are players free. Sam Tonkin now. The stack's very deep, so you've got to think twice before shooting. Messix. And they've got it to their brick mark, and they shoot out wide. And I think that's going to be a goal. Ruben right there on the spot if he gets asked.
Wouldn't be surprised to have a little bit of a chat before they make a final decision. And a lovely shot to that fat side.
Geez,
that left foot. Did it touch the line?
Well, I think it's the fact that the feet went down at the same time.
It looks like they've agreed that it's a turnover. So unfortunate for the Tim Tams. But again, they said this cup has been successful, generating 2 blocks already in this point.
Yeah, can they get a third? This one, Lacra getting horizontal, throwing straight away to Hannah. Hannah back to Lacra. Close that fence, lads. Chang. Count getting up now. Srivastava. Let go that hectic look-away flick. And this time gets one through the 2 players in the fence.
Oh, a couple of bobbles now for Zephyr.
Yeah, yep.
Sometimes that perceived pressure from a very vocal defense also adds in. But offensively, just unable to keep control.
This is fatigue. This is when fatigue starts to creep into both decision-making as well as execution. Srivastava moves it out wide. Now, Jang having a little trundle. Lacra goes a lovely inside out, centering the disc. Srivastava, he lets one go. It's a one-on-one. Lacra up, had it, dropped it, fouled. Nadezwa and Lacra, the one-on-one. Had a good piece of it, but also, you'd say Nadezwa tried to get the inside track, so.
You can have a look at the screen, but you can't see.
It's really, this is one of those ones, Avril, where you can watch the replay, but it's probably those 2 players are the ones that know, because you're talking about contact. Is it incidental?
Mm-hmm.
I'd say also, Lacra had a good chunk of it as well. I don't know if he stopped rotation, so they're going to have a chat. This is where our game advisors are fantastic, can just provide an impartial view, led magnificently by the Wolfdorf Rules Chair, Ruben Berg.
Aiden Turner here, either clarifying the rules or potentially being asked for perspective, and no surprises, it's contested call.
Foul, yeah.
Yeah.
Not accepted, contested.
I think when it's really close in those calls, it's kind of fair to go back and replay the point.
I don't think, looking at the body language of both those players, I think they kind of get it. They're like, you know what, not sure if it is or isn't, and we're going to see a timeout burned. Disc in, timeout.
Timeout. So longest point so far already. As we said, it's fatigue now setting in. Turnovers, a total of 8 this point. So this is certainly the longest point we've had this game so far. And just a veteran move there by Srivastava to call the timeout, just reset after some frantic plays. Already 48 passes in total for this point with plenty of zone looks. So this timeout, we'll see if we can get some words there from the teams. And we'll be back shortly after the timeout. And we are back in this marathon point. We are still in pool play in the Opens divisions. Zephyr up 9-2 against Tom's Tim Tams. But Tom's Tim Tams not going down easy. An emphatic Tom Tam slam cheer to get this point going again.
Tom Tam slam, Avril. Gee, making us work, aren't they? Oh, jeez, he's close to the line here. But they know their team. Hannah, he's towed it in. Finally move it inbound, somewhere where there isn't a sideline. Hannah has an open power position look. Instead, chills to Lacra. Lacra had a shot if he wanted it, and instead goes the lefty backhand. Blue to Lacra. 4, 5 players around the disc. 6. All of the Tom's Tams players bar one in that shot. And Lacra, his luck, runs out going through that fence. He's been doing it all day, umpire. This time, the Tom's Tams fence adjusts, get the D, and now they have a chance coming out of this timeout through Vince, who wore a fair bump.
That'll be uncontested.
Rubino,
accepted strip.
No problem, exactly, yeah. So my bad, big fella. Play on. Tonkin, being one of the best on. He lets a big one go. He's going to have to track it. At the back, Nadezma!
What a score! The quick movement from Tom Tim's Tams, slicing through the Zephyr defense. And way to get big here, Nadezma. 50 passes this point. Tom Tim Tams makes good of this one. More efficient with 14 to successfully convert that hold.
As we saw, Tonkin let one go. All eyes went to the receiver at the front, but Nadezwa, at full extension, didn't give up on it. Impressive in isolation, Avril, even more so when you think that we are now kind of an hour into this game, facing a huge deficit. They could have dropped their head, but instead, Nadezwa getting Horo,
and they
holding
did
on to it.
ask for a Tim Tam slam. Nadezwa slamming to the ground, but taking control of that disc.
Oh, and he's pumped.
That is their very first break of this game, so time is ticking, but Tom's Tim Tams still ticking away here. Still alive in a very exciting game. So their zone defense has managed to generate several turns. Will they be setting one again?
And we are joined by Stanley Nadezwa, fresh off that grab, mate. That's got to feel good. Yeah, what was going through your mind? Did you always know that you'd be able to reel that one in?
I wasn't too sure, but just have to keep going for it.
He's still got some work to do. Yeah, but, you know,
One at a time.
a few more of those. You never know, mate. Well done. Great grab.
Thank you.
So now, attention goes back to the Zephyrs. Can they adjust? Or can Tom's Tim Tams ride a little bit of this energy, Avril?
Yeah, again, hemmed in on the sideline. Oh, that one is a low shot to get through, and Zephyr just using their quick movement now.
Some of those inside shots are absolutely nuts. I know we just saw Lacra kind of get D'd on one, but overall, you'd say they're probably 9-1 in terms of the successful shots. Really impressive. So this time, Hannah, little dish. They're running the give goes, not able to get any kind of count on. They're just almost toying with them now, just throwing the small throws for fun. Lacra, lefty backhand. Oh, big bid! Sam Tonkin trying to lift his team on both sides of the disc. This one goes through a nice little zip throw. Srivastava throwing the goal. He was everywhere at that point.
I think the key difference between the two zone offenses is that Zephyr, they barely wait for stall 2, stall 3. Look at this bid by Tonkin. Gets horizontal to try to get another opportunity for his team. But ultimately, the quick movement in the disc, not allowing the defenders to reset and get good position, that's really the difference which has made the Zephyr offense hum like a drum.
Hum like a drum. That's a new one. All right, I'm going to keep that one, Av. All right, so Tom's Tim Tams. You'd almost say, Avril, playing in terms of halves, playing the second half a lot stronger. I mean, that's both the energy as well as the stats kind of suggest that a far more even second half. It was just really that slide of 4 or 5 breaks in a row to get half to put them in the position they're in.
That's right. If you just isolate this half, they've had hold, and then a break apiece. So it's actually evens on halves. I think Tim Tams can be really pleased with the effort they've put in, and like you say, trusting that process that they asked for. Still throwing those throws. Execution might not come off, but their defense has really ramped up this half to earn those opportunities back.
So Rocker is looking deep. Instead, he goes one through the fence, says, if you can do it, Zephyr, I'll do it better. And nice, better flow here from Tim Tams, starting to use the width.
Taking a page from the Zephyr's book as well, throwing the disc, within a couple of stall counts, just keeping it moving, keeping defenders guessing.
Yeah, good point. That one, another one. This one through the cup. Again, it's to Vince. Vince does well, is patient. Now Sam Tonkin at the brick mark, attacking brick, goes to Rocker, reels it in. Starting to ride their luck a little bit, but it's paying off. Watson. And then Rocker, let's go an outside in floater. And it's reeled in, it's a nice D. Rivera read it out of the hand. Stuck with the play, avoided the contact, got the D.
A little bit of wind also pushing the disc slightly out bounds, made it very difficult for the receiver to keep his toes in. Tight cup here, hemmed on the sideline. A hammer just to sneak through, but they again get forced to this same close sideline.
And the adjustment I'd make if I was Tim Tams in the fence is they're all watching the disc. Look at them all looking at the disc. They're not looking at their teammates, and they're not looking at the space to take away. And that means exactly that throw can happen where they get it out into the space. So that's the adjustment Tim Tams need to make. If they can just shut that fence down, things change.
Agreed. I think as a defender, what's really important is to recognise the next threat.
2-on-1 hammer. Nice D coming in to make it a 2-on-2.
Well done to Bradley Vince there, getting his mitts on, never giving up.
He's been everywhere at this point, Vince. He was involved in a couple of long grabs, and that D got one going deep, and this one goes. It's to Tonkin. Almost had a second bite at it. Rivera got the D, but didn't set the job. And this time now goes for the run and gun. So they're out of position. Rocker has a big look. Did enough.
Moss, what a grab to save the check.
Put me on, coach. Rocker. A lot of players around the disc. There was a bit of a double team being called from the sideline, but the play has to call it. Sam Tonkin gets the movement through. Once again, Vince, busy this point. We're rocking the old flat cap. Tonkin to Rocker. Rocker and Tonkin now kind of settling back behind the disc.
More of a loose zone this time. The defender's doing well to kind of drop off, stop that next threat, and then come and pinch it and apply pressure to the thrower.
He'll sleep well tonight, Sam Tonkin. I feel like he's getting every second pass alongside Rocker. But I like this patience, you're right. It's just kind of opened up a little bit. They're Zephyr allowing those give-goes, whereas previously it was just so busy in around that cup. So Rocker, there's space out wide if they want it, but they're going to be patient for now.
Not much movement in the downfield cutters. I'd like to see them try and move that second row of wing defenders a bit more.
And that's what you have to do as a popper, is adjust. Notice when the handlers are going, as we see the turn, when the handlers are going, you let them do it. But once that gets stagnant, that's your signal. Right, I got to get in, I got to pop, I got to create space deep. Rivera fakes the wide backhand instead, goes back with a very relaxed dump. Players just not doing anything at all walking. Landgraf. He looks around, he throws with a little bit of intent. There we go, opens the field up. Long flick goes, one-on-one. And there's yelling going on, there's a lot of tension and anger.
Tie again, fantastic D, just read the play out of the hands and got his body in front.
They're out everywhere, Avril. This Vince has the inside.
And that wind just pushes that disc to the turf.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, showed a little bit of that disc face to the wind and it just pushed it right into the ground. So I wouldn't say the wheels are off completely yet, but this point's certainly taking a toll on the players as we see Feng taking the long disc, chooses not to centre. Instead goes the little one. Varshni moves it out wide. This one with a bit on it, and you know who, Vince, in it, but back to Varshni. Throws the wide goal, and that will be a goal to Zephyr. That is a break.
So another long point there. In total, 55 passes for the score. And here we have a bobble here. Vince gets his pause, but heads up awareness there.
Had a good point, Vince.
Yeah, got involved both sides of the disc and looking stylish to boot.
11-3. So don't go anywhere as we head into the final stanza of this game. Don't you worry, there is plenty of action coming at you from Shepparton, Victoria. This is the second of 5 scheduled games on our showcase field. But first, we will see what Tim Tams can do to gain a little bit of momentum for the rest of the day. And we're looking to get on the board. This likely won't be their first victory, but it's out there somewhere, fellas. You just got to go find it. Is this one landing out? And the next game will be from the women's division. NSU Aurora versus Chaos. We see Zephyr continuing to persist with this zone. It served him pretty well, you'd have to say. Tams. A little bit more handler movement coming up through. Zephyr now allowing those little throws. Nice wide throw. That was the one we wanted to see in the first half, Averill.
Yeah, it's a beautiful shot with a bit of blade. Carefully weighted to the receiver. And also making use of the width well. And they get maybe another one pop over the top.
And that was the hooter for soft cap. See the hammer fake. Yes, I wouldn't mind just another handler kind of out wide here.
Yeah, completely agree here. They hit the swing.
The shot, yes.
Very nice by Moolah, getting on the ground.
Tonkin moves out wide. He's got the inside shot if he wants it. Instead goes more aggressively. That's nice, Muir. And a chance for one of the best offensive holds from Tim Tams if they can show the composure. I almost put the moz on him there, Averill. Tonkin, I did.
Oh. They were working so hard at it. They deserve to score a clean hold.
Lacra plays out. A couple of mismatches and one goes deep. This will be a turn. That one with the wind, Averill. If you throw that throw upwind, it's perfect. You run onto it. You throw that same throw downwind, it's gone.
So Tim Tams now with an opportunity, although having to work their way from their defending end zone. Had shown some really good disc skills in that last point, both with some bladey shots over the top and then some nice shots through the cup. I think the positioning and making sure that they use the width has worked a lot better at this offensive point.
Yeah, I think the message if you're Tim Tams is that you finish this game a lot better than you started it. And so if you can take this level, take this energy into your next game, don't revert back and kind of go in that cycle where you start slow, and despite a lot of good effort in the second half, the game's kind of done. As we see this one, not hit, not one, not two, but goes through 3 players.
For sure, if you look at just the second half, Tim Tams are only down 1 break, so I think they can certainly take that stat into the next game. And just on the edge of his pinkies, manages to keep that one afloat. And again, using the width really well. Can they find a way through?
It's almost like they're just torturing Ho Young Hae out here. The fella in the parachute pants, throwing in, around him, just baiting him, bidding left and right.
The width of the pants aren't quite getting close enough to the disc.
Yeah, not the kind of number I'd roll with, to be honest with you, Avril, but each to their own. He might get one here. Oh, and again, just playing with him.
Oh, and another attempt at D. Now they get things going with a good flow.
Patience. Right on the end zone line. They can move it out wide. They do. That's the right play. Caleb Tonkin moves it in. They go out wide to Smith. That's the right play. Smith going with one through. And they get it. It's Mueller.
That is game for Zephyr. They get over the top of Tim Tams. A lot of effort. Sorry, that was Tim Tams with the point after 52 passes. Bring it up to 4-11, and with the hooter having gone off, it will be game to 12.
Reward for effort there, Avril. I think we said it a few times that they deserved it. A couple of things went their way. They've also had plenty of, bobbles not go their way. But I'm glad they were able to get that upwinder. As we said, it's as much about, you got to think of these points not just as individual games, but building something throughout the course of the day. So they know for the next game, right, we scored an upwinder. We're capable of doing that. Don't be intimidated by the wind. As I said, you just got to carry that energy from where you finish into the start of the next bracket.
And I think some self-belief as well. We've showed in this second half that Tim Tams have actually managed to control the points. So despite having to make 50-something passes to gain a possession, they've showed good control, good patience. They've made good decisions with the disc.
And a flick pull, but a brick is a brick. Oh, they're not going to take it. Take it back. Great pull. I would have probably taken the brick over it. But Zephyr, they'll do it the hard way. Hannah out, and they swing out now, so they've got the space. Game point for Zephyr. They score this. It's GG. Hannah.
Some good communication coming from the sideline. Tim Tams helping their cup out, just so they've got some more awareness. And this time they're opting for a 3-person cup rather than the 4 that they've been using earlier in the game.
It actually seems to be serving them a bit better. They've not, Zephyr haven't really been able to move it past the brick mark. Lacra. Tired legs starting to come up now. You can see a lot of demonstration and remonstration from the handlers, telling their receivers where they want them to go. Hannah swings out wide to Jiang. Jiang, interesting, nice floaty little break backhand. Lacra jogs onto it. He's looking deep. Instead, goes to retreat, throws the around flick. Gets it back. Throws the rapid backhand, but that one, again, fatigue starting to creep in. So Tim Tams have a chance to put in a break, Avril.
Pretty exciting here. Tonkin, no surprises, picking up the disc. And advert stack this time with Zephyr opting for a match defense.
The around backhand goes. It's going to go over his head, and he's going to jog onto it. An interesting read, but Doug Watson sits at the back. Gives it the I'm a little teacup spike.
Jeez. Tim Tams really ramping up now. Got nothing to lose in this game. Trying to extend this one. And that is their second break off this half. So it is actually on serve, just looking at the second half. Not lying over and giving the game point away. So Zephyr will have to regroup, see if they can slot in a hole to finish this one off.
Jiang with the bold strat. Bold strategy. He went super deep, super early. Got up. That was a high disc, and Watson said, right, I'm just going to sit at the back and take this one. Thank you very much.
An incredible throw as well. That around break.
Yeah.
The mark in the way, still manages to get really nice shape on it. You probably uses the wind a little bit just to let it kind of fall a bit further. So will this be game point, or will the Tim Tams put on another strong defensive line to extend this game? And Bryn Ty, who's certainly come alive in the second half, some good moments both on defense. And that one's an interesting pull.
It's like when you're playing after the game and you're just doing the bounce passes.
So only half of the field to work with for Zephyr offense.
Playing super aggressive, both wings starting up, but it's not going to help prevent the small ball. They're already at their brick mark, a little bit of throw and go action. That one through the cup, Hannah, and that is your game. Goal, catching the final goal off the throw of Hannah. And despite an impressive comeback, an admirable comeback from Tim Tams, splitting the second half, Avril, it was Zephyr and all the work they did in that first half that was the difference.
Yeah, the offensive flow was just unstoppable. They had such good movement between Lacra and Hannah. We also had Riviera get involved a lot. And just that momentum and quick give go, Tom Sawney is not able to find a solution to try and stop that. In the tail end, they did manage to slow things down. We saw that they adjusted their zone to a 3-person cup rather than a 4. And then some Sinji match defense and some good positioning in the end zone to try and get some turnovers there from some big hucks. But ultimately, Zephyr proving that they are perhaps the more slick of the new teams on the block.
Yeah, and you know, you mentioned that new teams thing. I feel like we called everyone's name, you know, and you love to see that in new teams, that there's, you know, it's not just kind of a couple of players that have gone and started their own thing and they catch every second pass. It felt really even. You did have, I think, really strong players on both sides, the Tonkins and the Lacras, but it was quite even, and I think that's a really good sign for emerging clubs, that they're using all their players. Another good sign is a club that uses a super soaker in the Spirit Circle, as we see it getting filled and taken across.
Great way to cool down. It's nice and sunny in Shepparton. Beautiful forecast for this weekend. Really nice conditions. And as we see the Spirit Circle, we have a fantastic game. It is the last game in the women's division pool play, and that is Chaos out from WA versus NSU Aurora from New South Wales. So make sure you stay tuned. That will be game on at 11:50. This is Avril Tapp and Andy Moroney signing off.
Always on the move? You can keep up to date with ULTI.TV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend, or send us a message just to say hey. Thank you for supporting us in our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.
ULTI.TV